الحمد لله رب الأرض والسماء سميع الدعاء يبدأ بالنعم والآلاء ويكشف السوء والبلاء. أحمد ربي وأشكره وأتوب إليه واستغفره وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ذو العزة والكبرياء وأشهد أن نبينا وسيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث بالشريعة التامة. اللهم صل وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وصحابته السابقين إلى كل عمل مبرور وسعي مشكور. أما بعد، كنت خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Allah said in the Quran that you are the Muslimun, the best of people who have come out to mankind. And the reason why is because you've come out and you order the good and you forbid the evil and you believe in Allah. So we have two elements here. The first element is in two parts. Also the first element, which is to do our actions, that is in two parts. Ordering people to do good, as in we have good. Allah has blessed us with knowledge of that which is good for us in this life and the next. And from the concern and good nature of the Muslim is that we wish to convey the good to others. We do not have a belief like some have, whereby we have good and it doesn't matter about the others, as long as we have good. Rather, we are a people who, when we see evil, we want to stop it. And when we see opportunity for mankind to excel and progress, and spread it. So we are du'at. We are callers to al-Islam. So we order the good, forbid the evil. And the second element is that we believe in al-Islam, we believe in Allah. So we have combined with that the internal as well as the external. External as in what we actually do and calling others to that. And internal is the belief in the heart that is maqroon, that is attached to one's actions. And that brings us to knowledge of the Muslim identity. What allows us and makes us like how we are. What makes a Muslim the way they are. To the point whereby an outsider, a non-Muslim may look at us and say, this is how the Muslims behave. What is this identity? Now I'm not asking and calling for each individual here to become carbon copies of each other. We have our own personalities, behaviors, likes and dislikes. However, you could say there's a framework, there's an infrastructure that every Muslim needs to abide by and strive their best to be in line with that. And this is where submission of al-Islam comes into play. Al-Islam means to submit to the guidelines and the structure that Allah has given us. Al-Istislam lillahi bil-tawheed wa qiyada lahu bil-ta'ah. So we submit to Allah with monotheism and we submit to Him in obedience. So we already acknowledge from the beginning, fundamentally, that there is a higher wisdom at play, and we already acknowledge that at some level, because they're all levels, but at some level, we don't know everything. So, although I may perceive and believe this is better, we have to refine our behavior and our understanding towards what Islam gives us and see where that comes into play. So we have a few elements, a few key points here we need to look at. And the first of those is responsibility. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ رَهِينَةٌ. Every nafs is almost, what's the word? English word is held captive to their deeds. So we need to, as a fundamental belief of the Muslims, we need to take full responsibility for our actions, what we say and what we do, and we need to remove this disease of externalizing problems. We need to remove this mindset whereby we blame the other for things that happen. Al-Islam teaches us that in our daily lives, individually or collectively, our hardships may come from one or two avenues. A trial and a test for our mettle to see how much we are, what we say we are,
or as a result of our deeds, our actions. It's not the case whereby, because they did, that's why I'm in difficulty. No. We need to take responsibility that it may be because of what our hands have earned. Maybe the choices we made in the past led us to where we are today, and that is why we're in our difficulty. As well as it could be a test. As if it's a test, we have patience to pass the test. That's how you pass the test. Have sabr and call upon Allah and ask Him for help and aid. But if it's as a result of our actions, we need to acknowledge this and take full responsibility for our deeds. As Allah said in the Quran, وَأَلَّا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. No person will bear the brunt or the sin of other people. So on the Day of Judgment, there won't be a case whereby on our records there will be sins, and it will be sins that others have done. Unless we told others to do so. In that case, it's from our deeds. But we will only be punished or draw an account to that which we had a hand involved in that sin, in that evil. So we need to take full responsibility of our outcomes and stop externalizing problems. Another element is our internal belief. And this one here, we need to dig deep in this one. I'm not going to go into the details, the time does not permit. But in this regards here, we need to dig deep. And we need to look internally at our beliefs. We are Muslim. But what does that mean? We are surrounded by so many isms. We are surrounded by communism, capitalism, socialism, feminism. How many isms you want to have? We are surrounded by them. And at some level, we cannot deny how certain elements of our isms that we are surrounded by, we may be influenced by those. And at this point here, what I want to draw you to do is to now analyze our internal belief systems and analyze how much do what we believe, how much is it in line with what Islam dictates. And this is important because our internals manifest itself externally. So the ayah that we began with mentioned about ordering the good, forbidding the evil, and believing in Allah. So the actions, you could say, is a manifestation of what's internally inside ourselves. Hence why you find at the core of a lot of problems with the Muslimin, individually and collectively, is where the internal belief system has been corrupted, it has been infiltrated with foreign ideas. So as an example, just as a taste, as an example, the ideas of socialism, whereby we have a collective. This community is responsible for the collective. Now, there may be some elements where the manifestations of socialism is similar to the manifestations of al-Islam. For example, we have zakah, where we take a collective amount from those who are rich and we give to the poor. So you may perceive this is an element of socialism. And therefore you may incline towards socialistic ideals. But if you scratch the surface and analyze it, at the core, socialism is not al-Islam. As an example. So we need to be aware of the isms that are around us. We need to be aware specifically of the slogans we are exposed to. Because many Muslims raising the flag and rallying behind ideas, not realizing that such ideas Islam doesn't call for. And we are actually raising the flag, sometimes of Jahiliyyah. So as part of the Muslim identity is having the correct Islamic ideals and beliefs. And after that, the third element is an extension of that, our actions, and primarily I'm talking about our ibadah, our worship. If you analyze al-Islam, you would find from the beginning of it to the end of it, al-Islam has at its core message al-mukhalafa. I mentioned this before, being different. If you look at the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you find many aspects of worship, if not all aspects of worship, have at its core be different from the disbelievers. When the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was discussing with the companions about how to call people to the masajid, they were discussing how could we deliver this message, come to the masjid. The horn was mentioned, the bell was mentioned, and specifically the Messenger of Allah rejected those ideas because that was the way that the Jews and the Christians called to their worship. Using the horn for the Jews and the bells for the Christians. So already we see from that one example that at the core of the decisions that Islam, at the core of the practices of al-Islam is not to be like the disbelievers in worship. Also, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned about not as saying that sometimes you need to pray with your shoes because the Jews never pray with their shoes. So, as an example, these are just a few of many examples establishing the core principle is that in our acts of worship we need to make sure we are distinct and defined as different. We are not like everybody else, we are different from everybody else. And there are many examples, like example the issue of breaking our fast at sunset, different from the Yahud, and so many other aspects. So these are just three so far elements that we have discussed about how we need to refine and make the Muslim identity within ourselves manifest. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بما فيه من الآيات وذكر الحكيم أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه كان غفارا. الحمد لله الرحمن الرحيم العزيز الحكيم له الأسماء الحسنى والصفات العلى اللهم صل وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وصحابته الأتقياء أما بعد. Another element of the Muslim identity we need to refine on a daily basis, and I don't exclude anyone from this advice, this includes everybody, every one of us, specifically this element here, is our Muslim identity as it relates to our mannerisms and means of conduct between people. Now, this element here, I am not referring to acts of worship. I refer to the aadat, the general everyday behavior that we have. How do we greet each other? How do we behave with each other? How do we deal with the bereaved? How do we deal with someone who's their loved ones have passed away? How do we interact with each other? We need to, as Islam dictates and gives us guidelines, be distinct and refined from everybody else. So, for example, the Messenger of Allah has encouraged us, afshu salam, to spread the salams, assalamu alaikum, and has specifically said not to greet one another with nodding and waving. When we see each other as Muslimin, we greet with as-salam, because this is how the Muslimun greet one another. You find some of the non-Muslims who wish to, you could say, honor the Muslims even, they will say to you assalamu alaikum as best they can, because they know this is how the Muslims greet one another. And it's unfortunate that Muslims today feel shy to do so. They'll walk into a room with Muslims and non-Muslims, and they'll feel shy to say assalamu alaikum to the Muslimin. Maybe they feel away, they feel, okay, it might be awkward. But it's not about being awkward or not awkward. It's about establishing the Muslim identity, that this is how the Muslims behave. I mean, I just heard the other day about, it was something that was discussed about the National Lottery. That when the National Lottery was institutionalized in the 1990s, from one of the early winners of the National Lottery was a Muslim. And what was interesting was that the kuffar themselves were rebuking him, saying, but you're Muslim, how are you buying a lottery ticket? This helps us see firsthand that even the kuffar know what it means to be a Muslim. They actually understand there is something called a Muslim identity. There are certain things that a Muslim does not do, and certain things that Muslims do. So how we greet one another, how we visit the sick, and we consolidate the dead and bereavement. And more importantly here, how we deal with the opposite gender. How do we deal with the opposite gender at work, in public places? We need to refine how we do so that when the opportunity comes for a woman who wants to greet us or do business with us, we can't just say, oh, I live in Saudi. We don't live in Saudi. We live in England. You don't have the option to say, there's a women's section over here and a men's section over here. We live in a mixed society. So you need to be prepared and confident in how you deal with them. And you need to be aware and how to deal with them in a manner that doesn't offend them, but at the same time respects and fulfills the rights of al-Islam. So for example, this just happened to me the other day. There was a man and a woman, and we was having a conversation about the laws and legal proceedings. And as I was leaving, I shook the guy's hand. I said, nice meeting you. And I saw the lady, I thought to myself, what comes next? I just shook his hand. So if I don't shake her hand, how do I convey my respect for her without compromising my Islam? So I did, and I greeted her like I saw how other Muslims and other cultures do so. So I put my hand on my chest, I said, nice meeting you. This is a sign of respect that everyone can acknowledge rather than just doing nothing. I mean, you have your own way of refining how you would deal with it, but it's important to find a way to deal with it and be comfortable with that so that when it happens, you know what to do. You're not stuttering and you're not, you could say, compelled to do something. And I guarantee almost every man here has come across a situation where you're caught off guard and your initial reaction is just to shake a hand, and it will happen. I'm not saying you're sinful for doing so, because often it's a gut reaction that you just do. I'm not saying you're sinful, but I'm saying that we need to have a different gut reaction in how to do things. And also finally, marriage. Now, let's wake up. Let's be alive here. Let's be real. We are men. And we will see women. And the opportunity of marrying may come up. How do we deal with things? Islam doesn't leave us to just figure it out. There are ways to be serious and be refined in how you deal with things and be respectful. And we need to abide by the guidance of Islam and not to compromise in how we go about getting married. لا طاعة لمخلوق لمعصية الخالق. There's no obedience to the creation in disobedience to the Creator. And very briefly, the last couple of points in appearance, and this is an extension of what we had before. We need to the best of our abilities, make it known that we are Muslim in our appearance. For some of us, it's easy. We've got a big beard. It's obvious you're Muslim, for the most part. But whatever you do, whether it's a kufi or something, it needs to be known that you're Muslim for two reasons. Number one, if you make it known you are Muslim, that makes you monitor your actions more. Because people see what you do, and they'll say, if you have bad behavior, they'll say, oh look, see, this is how Muslims behave. So you know what's going to happen. So you're being your best behavior. So it's good for you. And secondly, when you are good, that's da'wah. Da'wah is not just, this is Islam, we believe this, Isa and 3 in 1. That's not just da'wah. Da'wah, fundamentally, is good mu'amala, good dealings, good behavior. And finally, to draw it close, is our dealings with money. Money is where a lot of our secrets and our inner workings are revealed. We can be very nice when we want to be. When we go into a business contract, all niceties are over. When it comes to profits and losses and the bottom line, a lot of things can change. And at this point is where the Muslim identity can really shine. Don't be surprised when we hear that such and such country, which is now a Muslim country, there was no jihad there. How did Islam got there? Through the Muslim traders who went there with their good behavior and they gave them the product as well as al-Islam. And they took the product and al-Islam. So it's possible that this country we live right now can become a Muslim country. How? Through good mu'amala. As long as you yourselves represent Islam in your financial dealings. Fundamentally, I would say, as a summary of this one here, don't prioritize the coin over deen. There is always another opportunity to make money, but there isn't always another opportunity to get to convey al-Islam in the best possible manner. And that's one element. And the other element is not to be shy about making money. Al-Islam tells you, make money. Islam gives honor in those who make money, those who earn money through the work of their own hands, through the action of their own hands. A Sahaba migrated from Mecca to Medina, left everything behind. Ansari said, I'll give you half of what I have. He could easily have said, MashaAllah, look at this, Islam is great, I'm already set up. But he said, no. Barakallah, may Allah reward you for your efforts, but just show me where the market is. I can earn my own. This is how the Muslim attitude needs to be. We can earn our own. We can look after our own community. We can look after ourselves. This should be at the forefront of our daily mentality. As we wake up in the morning, I wake up this morning because I need to wake up. I need to earn the coin so that I can look after my family, primarily, my family, and the extended community. And you even see this with us from the ulama. When many ulama asked about the zakah, where do I give zakah? They'll say, you say, Sheikh, should I give zakah to this country and that country? 9 times out of 10, if not all the time, they'll say, no, leave the zakah in your own land. because that's how the Muslim economy works. We look after each other individually. We don't wait for the government to work it out for us. We do it ourselves. And I'll conclude here with a hadith of Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, "Ma akala ahadun ta'aman qat." None of you will ever eat food khayran, that is better min an yakula min amal yadi, better than eating from the work of your own hand. There was no food you will eat and consume that is better than you going out and seeking and making effort to earn that money so you can eat from your own hand. And just try and conclude here, because we've got like a few minutes left, or like 1 minute left. لأن يأخذ أحدكم حبله. So the Messenger of Allah is giving advice for any one of you to go out and take a habl, a rope, فيأتي بحزمة الحطب على ظهري, and take some hatab, some kindling, some dry wood, and carry it on his back. فيبيعها, and go to the market and sell that hatab. So he's going out with rope, gathering wood, firewood, carrying it on his back to the market and selling that firewood. فيكف الله بها وجهه, and then by that he is earning an income, so Allah will cover him from the poverty. خير من أن يسأل الناس فأعطوه أو منعوه. It's better for him than to ask people and they give him or they say no. So we see right here a strong encouragement to get up, go and work, and don't ask. Get up, go and work, and don't ask. So we cover 6 things here. We need to take responsibility for our actions. We need to refine and make sure our beliefs are in line with Al-Islam. We need to make sure our religious activities and actions, again, are in line with Islam. We need to make sure that our customs, our behavior, our mu'amalat, again, are in line with Al-Islam, as well as our dress code. And we need to make sure that our income is halal, and that we are actually trying our best to earn an income. عباد الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما وقد قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من صلى عليه صلاة واحدة صلى الله عليه بها 10 فصلوا وسلموا على سيد الأولين والآخرين وإمام المرسلين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم ارضى عن الصحابة أجمعين وعن الخلفاء الراشدين أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابة والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم ارضى عنا معهم بمنك وكرمك ورحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وذل الكفر والكافرين ودمر أعداء الدين يا رب العالمين يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا قوي يا متين اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة اللهم أعذنا من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. الصلاة.